Hi, welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're making fried chicken inspired by KFC. Now, just to let you know before we get going that when they make chicken at KFC, it's made in a pressure cooker. So it would have a different consistency and taste because seasonings are infused, and the way that it's cooked has a different texture on the outside. So what I started with here is 4 chicken breasts, which I cut up into pieces, and then I have 4 chicken wings, which I am cutting up to make the sections where you get the drumettes and everything like that. What you want to do is cut where the joints are, and you can actually, if you have a decently sharp knife, cut right through these. Discard the little piece at the end, you do not need it. As you're cutting these, you're going to want to put them in a decently large bowl because you are going to mix a batter into this to actually make the stuff stick to the outside. So what you want to do is coat this with 2 eggs and at least a half a cup of buttermilk. So you're going to pour the eggs and the buttermilk into a bowl and mix them up first. I know at KFC they use water to coat their chicken before they actually put the breading on. I'm doing this my way because I like buttermilk and this gives it an interesting taste. And it still is the seasoning taste you get from KFC when you're done. So mix this up completely, making sure the eggs are broken up. And then when you're done mixing, you're going to pour this over your chicken. Now you want to take a fork or whatever and move your chicken through the bowl to make sure all sides are coated with the buttermilk and egg, because if it's not coated, stuff isn't going to stick to it. And what you're going to end up doing with this is you're going to have this mixture in the bowl. You're going to take a piece of chicken that's wet from this, dip it into the breading, bring it back, dip it again into the wetness, and then take it back to the dry breading again because it'll make a thick coating on the outside. So to mix up your coating, you need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To this, you're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. To that, you're adding 2 teaspoons of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of dried thyme, 1.5 teaspoons of dried basil, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1 teaspoon of celery salt. Then you're going to add a tablespoon of ground black pepper, 2 tablespoons of paprika, 2 tablespoons of garlic salt, 1 tablespoon of ground ginger, 1 tablespoon of ground white pepper. With that, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of chicken seasoning, 1 tablespoon of adobo seasoning, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and once everything is in the bowl, you're going to mix it up. And this is going to be your seasoning, so make sure that the breading is all completely mixed together, because there's a lot of seasoning there. You do not want to bite into a piece of chicken that's just got a ton of one thing on it because it wasn't mixed thoroughly. Now, as I said before, make sure your chicken is coated with the wet stuff, and then you're going to drop it into the dry breading. Once you get it coated on both sides, you're going to bring it back over and dip it wet again, both sides, and then take it back over to the dry again, so that way you've got a coating built up. Now, once you're done per piece, lay them on a platter, and as you go along, just keep doing the double dipping, because there's a lot of chicken here for just the 4 breasts and the 4 wings, but there's a lot to feed your family. Now, once you're done with all the breading, you're going to get a skillet with hot oil in it. You need to make sure this oil is up to temperature, and we're talking hot to 350 degrees to cook this. You need enough oil in here to where it's a decent halfway up your pan, so that way when you submerge the chicken in it, it's cooking at least halfway up, so that way when you turn it, it's even cooking. You can mix the wings and the breast in the same pan, it makes no difference. With all that I had to cook it in 2 separate pans worth, because everything wouldn't fit the first time because there's that much chicken from what I did. You can actually fill the pan up quite well, just make sure you don't overfill it. You want room for them to move back and forth a little bit, and I always leave room to where the oil can bubble up around each piece. So as I was cooking this, the chicken I turned maybe 2 to 3 times while I was cooking it. It cooked for up to like 12 to 15 minutes, and it was thoroughly cooked through, and that's because I had my oil at temperature, and not that, you know, I was waiting for it to warm up while my chicken's sitting in it. If you put your chicken in cold oil, everything that you coated the outside is going to start to float off. And as you can see in the pan, this is what it looks like when it's browning and getting very well cooked. And the chicken, it looks amazing when it's cooking, and it smells so good while you have this in the pan, because you can smell all of the herbs and seasonings working together to make this great smell. So once you've made sure your chicken is completely done and get it out to drain, I drain on a paper towel so that takes care of any excess oil. It'll look a lot like this, and it is amazing. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'd love to see you the next time. Have a great one.